So, last week's video was showcasing DC's Copycat Hall of Shame. So, this week it's Marvel's turn. Welcome to my channel, KC. That's me, Carrie Chuck, the Sledge Storyteller, here to talk about the wonderful world of storytelling and to open a discussion about how we can tell the best stories we possibly can. So, Marvel has made a lot of good stuff over the years. Just that, like DC did with Marvel made a few characters that have a more than passing resemblance to DC characters. So here, it's 10 of Marvel's biggest copycats of DC characters.
Number 10. Black Cat is a copycat, again, no pun intended, of Catwoman. Selena Kyle made her debut as the no-costume cat in 1940 in Batman #1 and would don the cat costume shortly thereafter. Felicia Hardy, Black Cat, debuted in 1979 in Amazing Spider-Man #194. Both take their cat themes to the next level of high-skilled cat burglar. Both take their athleticism to the cat level and the pinnacle of acrobatics and combat. Marvel upped the ante with Black Cat, giving her a psionic ability that enables her to spur bad luck on her opponents, and wears special contact lenses that give her the ability to see more ranges of the electromagnetic spectrum. A cat-themed, cat burglar, cat-like athleticism, busted for being a copycat. Number 9. Nova is a copycat of Green Lantern. The first Green Lantern, Alan Scott, debuted in 1940 in All-American Comics number 16. Later in 1959, Hal Jordan, the most well-known Green Lantern, emerged in DC Showcase Comics number 22. Nova, real name Richard Rider, on the other hand, came forth in 1976 in Marvel's The Man Called Nova #1. Both gain powers from supernatural cosmic sources. Green Lantern's power ring is powered from a battery with energy harnessed by the Guardians living in the planet Oa. Nova is empowered by the Nova Force, which empowers his whole entire body instead of concentrating it into one small object. Green Lantern's energized power enables him to fly, generate shields, or hard-light construction that can form any device he wants, whether it be weapons to wield, mechanical arms that operate with limitless power, or even a stuntman's landing pad to cushion anyone's fall. Not too different, the Nova Force empowers Nova with flight, superhuman strength, energy shields. He can also absorb energy that he can in turn weaponize as energy bursts. So, similar power origination, power with similar function. I don't doubt at all that Green Lantern provided the template for the creation of Nova. Number 8. Hawkeye is a copycat of Green Arrow. Of course, if we're going to be honest, Green Arrow is a copycat of Robin Hood. Green Arrow, Oliver Queen, he came to light in 1941 in DC's More Fun Comics number 73. Hawkeye, real name Clint Barton, first came forth in 1964 in Marvel's Tales of Suspense number 57. Both are trademarked with their apex level marksmanship at archery, coupled with their mastery of hand-to-hand combat. The only real difference is that Green Arrow fights crime on the street level, while Hawkeye takes on specialized missions. But any way you slice it, Hawkeye took on the same super archer method of Green Arrow. Number 7. Vision is a copycat of Red Tornado. Now, Marvel's history of Vision is complex. There was a timely comics era Vision in the Golden Age. In 1939, he looked somewhat similar to today's Vision, but he wasn't an android at all like today's Vision is. He was an alien law enforcement officer from a dimension called Smoke World. DC's android Red Tornado later debuted in 1964 in Justice League of America number 64, while the Silver Age Vision first appeared in Avengers Volume 1, number 57 in 1968. Both characters are androids with powers of flight, super strength, intelligence, and senses, regenerative powers, and means of disguise. A few differences in that Vision can control his density to the point of being intangible and can project solar energy, while Red Tornado can, since it's part of his name, manipulate the wind, also deflect oncoming projectiles, put up a force field, and render himself invisible. So many similarities with several differences being categorically similar.
Similar enough that we have to say copycat.
Number 6. Doctor Strange is a copycat of Dr. Fate, so having the title of Doctor is a low-key giveaway. Kent Nelson first emerged as Dr. Fate in 1940 in DC's More Fun Comics number 55, whereas Dr. Stephen Strange made his superhero name minus his first name in 1963 in Marvel's Strange Tales number 110. Both were trained to be sorcerers by ancient wizards, though while Kent Nelson was simply exploring an ancient tomb to meet the wizard Nabu, Stephen Strange sought out the Ancient One out of desperation after losing all feeling in his hands. Dr. Strange's power shtick revolves around distorting reality, while Dr. Fate's sorcery specifies telekinesis, telepathy, pyrokinesis, teleportation, healing factor, astral projection, clairvoyance, energy negation, and illusion casting, as well as having superhuman strength. For all these differences, no missing the origin and power parallels here. Number 5. Quicksilver is a copycat of The Flash. Like with Green Lantern, DC has gone through a string of Flashes. First of all, that was Jay Garrick, emerging in 1940 in Flash Comics number 1. His successor, the better-known Barry Allen, came forth in 1956 in Showcase number 4. Less than 8 years later, Quicksilver, Pietro Maximoff, debuted in the Uncanny X-Men number 4. There are differences in how they got their speedster powers. Barry Allen was hit with a combination of lightning and chemicals, while Pietro's powers were his mutation. Obviously, both run at phenomenal speeds and both can vibrate through solid barriers. While Quicksilver runs up to Mach 10, Flash uses his speed force to take him well beyond the speed of light. Both use their speed to create strong winds, and Quicksilver has the added factor of photographic memory. Overall, speed and vibration power, copycat. Number 4. Deadpool is a copy of Deathstroke. Deadpool creator Rob Liefeld seems to care very little about being widely thought of as a copycat. First you look at Deathstroke and Deadpool side by side, then you learn their real names, Slade Wilson and Wade Wilson, and then you have proof. Deathstroke first appeared in the new Teen Titans number 2 in 1984, while Deadpool debuted in 1991 in the New Mutants number 98. Both subjected themselves to biological enhancement experiments that increased their strength and reflexes as well as their healing capabilities, though Deadpool goes beyond just healing, but also being able to attach limbs as well as reattachments after decapitations. Another admittedly notable difference, I don't doubt that there are people who are fans of both characters, but they'll be the first to tell you that you need different reasons for liking Deadpool as to Deathstroke. As many know now, after the movies came out, Deadpool is the supreme example of a free spirit, bringing up comedy to every scene he's in, whereas Deathstroke is strictly business and broods even more than Batman at his darkest. All those differences aside, what else can you say when a creator admits to copying a character? Number 3. Thanos is a copycat of Darkseid. When Snyder's cut of Justice League came out, I couldn't help but wonder if anyone not familiar with the DC and Marvel universes were thinking that DC was copying Marvel when they saw Darkseid so similar to Thanos. Well, Darkseid first appeared in November 1970 in a cameo in Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen number 134, before his big reveal in Forever People number 1 in February of 1971, a creation of the much-lauded Jack Kirby. Thanos, he emerged in February of 1973 in the Invincible Iron Man number 55. No secret, Thanos creator Jim Starlin gave the whole story. I had all these different gods and things I wanted to do, which became Thanos and the Titans. Editor Roy Thomas took one look at the guy in the Metron-like chair and said, "Beef him up. If you're going to steal one of the new gods, at least rip off Darkseid, the really good one." Both are portrayed as ultra-powered megalomaniacs in their respective dominions. Both have power of superhuman strength, speed, agility, and invulnerability, and genius-level intellect, bringing both to the peak of face-to-face formidability. Their energies-bursting abilities are just two sides of the same coin. Darkseid projects his ultra-destructive omega beams, while Thanos projects powerful plasma beams. Darkseid made it his personal mission to take his iron-fisted rule beyond his primary dominion of planet Apocalypse and destroy all free will existing among sentient beings. Seeing Jack Kirby's Jewish roots and seeing how these same roots had him creating stories directly targeting Nazism back in World War II. I can't help but think that Hitler was at least a subconscious influence for Darkseid. Thanos, on the other hand, and for the most part, has fallen in love with Mistress Death and in most cases has sought widespread destruction in the universe to please her. Avengers Infinity War is one of several exceptions when it comes to it always being about pleasing Lady Death, those who've seen that. But there is an allusion to that in the mid-credit scenes for the first Avengers movie that has Thanos grinning when he is told that challenging the humans means courting death. But again, we have Thanos' creator acknowledging that he's a copycat, albeit through his editor's influence as well, but we're talking copycat of Darkseid. Number 2. Moon Knight is a copycat of Batman. I can remember once reading the letter column of an issue of the now defunct Wizard magazine, where a reader's letter gave a list of characters he wanted to see brought back from obscurity, Moon Knight among them.
The Wizard editor responded that he couldn't agree with that, citing that he's a Batman ripoff, but I will acknowledge that the somewhat recent re-emergence of Moon Knight has been done well enough to make him deserve the popularity that we see him having right now. Whereas Batman was first introduced in 1939 in Detective Comics number 27, Moon Knight's introduction was in 1975 in Werewolf by Night number 32. Both are expert detectives with peak levels of human strength, agility, stamina, and hand-to-hand combat, and both have a wide array of high-tech gadgets. Early in his history, Moon Knight had increased strength, speed, and endurance depending on the moon cycle. Also, they do have very different character biographies. While Batman seeks to symbolically avenge his murdered parents, Moon Knight, real name Mark Spector, had been the wayward son of a rabbi from Chicago.
After going from boxer to marine to mercenary, he came across an archaeological dig in Africa, only to be beaten and left for dead by African mercenary Raoul Bushman. Natives in the area, in turn, brought him to their temple, where he was revived by Egyptian gods with the agreement that he become the god's avatar on Earth. In the end, operating at night, sinister cape imagery, and similar abilities means that's too close to not be a copycat. And finally, number 1, the Sentry is a copy of Superman. Superman was the first ever costume superhero who in turn became a pop culture phenomenon, so much so that the vast majority of males growing up have at some time in their childhood wished that they could be him. When a character is that popular, rival companies are going to have their version of him. For the first couple of decades, DC found itself in a game of whack-a-mole, wanting every character remotely similar to Superman to be stamped out in court. But over time, DC seemed to mellow out, and both publishers started to let all character concepts be fair game. There are actually several Marvel characters looked upon as Superman copycats. You also have Hyperion, Gladiator, Wonder Woman, and Marvel Man. But Sentry is my focus here. In the year 2000, 62 years after Superman's 1938 debut in Action Comics number 1, Sentry came forth in Sentry number 1. Sentry has all of Superman's powers of superhuman strength and vulnerability, flight at speeds exceeding light speed, X-ray vision, microscopic and telescopic vision, but Marvel also added to Sentry such powers as electromagnetic spectrum vision, telekinesis, shape-shifting, and on and on. The difference in background is while Superman was an alien sent to Earth from Krypton, Sentry was a middle-aged man whose amnesia left him having no idea that earlier in life he had been the Sentry, and thus regained memory to take up that mantle once more. A lot of new aspects added, but at his base, a copycat. That's my top 10 Marvel copycats of DC characters. Agree, disagree, something I left out? Please let me know in the comment section. If you like this video, please click like. If you like this channel, please click subscribe or follow me on Instagram. I will always put the link to Sledge number 1 below the description there, or you can order it on Kindle, and I'll keep saying it. Please, let's try to get along. Let's try to see everybody as an equal and with equal opportunity. And amid any social strife, any political strife. Let's try to step back and understand each other. And amid this pandemic, let's do what we're supposed to do. I believe in the vaccine. I believe that any risk of severe complications is extremely low. Please get the vaccine. Thanks for watching. Everyone be safe and God bless.